Now
we're gonna talk about some more two-wheel racing.
Yeah.
We had the end of the indoor season for Supercross this past Saturday in Salt Lake City.
Yes.
And both of us watched it live.
Yes.
Including commercials because we suffer. And so however, we didn't watch any of the heats or the last chance qualifiers. We didn't watch any of that, but we did, of course, watch the 250 East-West Showdown.
Yes.
And you want to tell me a little bit how that went?
It was thrilling. I mean, going into it, of course, I think everybody was watching Cole Davies versus Hayden Deegan, the two champs of their respective coasts. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they've been really harsh or fierce competitors last season as well.
Teammates, technically.
And teammates, exactly. So this was the big final moment really in the 250 career for the two of them to battle each other. So there was definitely a big spotlight on the two of them, how they're going to fare. Hayden Deegan so far had a better history of battling against Cole Davies for the showdowns of this season. He had come out on top for all of them. So of course, I think there was a lot of fire under Cole Davies' Kiwi booty to get to win against Hayden Deegan. So that was definitely something we were both watching out for. And if you are following us, you know that we're very partial towards Cole Davies or very partial against Hayden Deegan, really.
Yeah. He's just such a douchebag, dude.
So going into it, we had high expectations. Hayden Deegan immediately got the whole shot. So both of us were like, wow. Not ideal start. However, Cole Davies was right there. And he was going and gunning for Hayden Deegan. There was the great thing is also both of them had already won their championships, right? Yeah. So there was nothing, there were potential points up to win or lose, especially for Cole Davies heading into the outdoor season because they do add up. However, there was a little bit less to lose, so they can go a little bit more high risk and just push and go for it, which made it even more exciting. Yes. Because Cole Davies went for it.
He did go for it. He did in one of the corners when he did his overtake on Hayden, he did Hayden's signature move where he was really hard and then there was contact, obviously, and it was also reviewed by the race organization, by AMA,
stewards,
but they were like, it's fine. Yeah. And I also thought that it wasn't overtly aggressive. It was aggressive, and I don't think he would have done this on a different rider. I think this was definitely
a Hayden specific
Hayden special because I remember last year he did it to Cole. Yeah. And it was also like Cole was definitely more of a rookie last year, which I was like, ooh, okay. Yeah. But like,
Hayden, he was a rookie last year.
Yeah, it's like, and then it was like Hayden. He's like, I don't take no prisoners. Yeah. And so he was able to make that pass, but he wasn't really able to like inch out a huge gap. Yes. So Hayden, of course, being a fast rider, ended up like charging him down, and then he tried to do that move back on.
The same move, essentially. I think the same corner also.
I think so, too. Same thing. Yeah. The only thing is, Cole Davies is built like a rock.
Well, not only that, he was ready for it.
Yes.
But also the timing for Hayden's move was just a little premature.
I think maybe the following lap would have been better.
Yes, exactly. So it was a little bit rushed, but I get it. You want to pass as soon as possible because you don't want the other guy to get ahead of you or to get too far away. So I get it, but it was a miscalculation. He went in where he was just a little bit too far away. He needed a little bit closer for him to really stop Cole Davies. Instead, he stopped himself
and fell off
the bike, which obviously
he did like a little somersault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
fortunately, like nothing dramatic, and he didn't get hurt or anything like that. But I think it did get to him. Yeah. Because immediately after, I think it was on the same lap, he dropped the bike again and he fell off, and that obviously put him quite far back. Yeah. And he ended up finishing 4th overall,
which is still excellent because he made up some positions then again.
Yeah. But it was too much to like make all of that back.
Well, and also he had some really big names in betwin. You know, like it's not like people will just roll over for Hayden Deegan because they're expecting him to battle Cole Davies. You had your shot. It didn't work out for you. Yeah. After the race, I mean, Cole Davies won. Levi Kitchen came in second. Max Anstey came in third, which was also so excellent. He started the season on the podium. He ended the season on the podium. So what kind of bookended it for Max Anstey?
I'm so happy for Max. It just seems like such a cool guy. 100%.
Right? It was so sweet. And also his post-race interview where he was talking about how his son gave him the superpowers. And
I think he should be tested. Getting superpowers for a race. I don't know if that's all above the board.
You gotta AMA Alpine's medical star team better do some blood testing.
Do some superpower testing here.
But no, so happy for him. So happy for Levi also to end the season on a high.
Yeah.
Huge congratulations to Cole Davies. What a win. Also in front of his parents. His grandpa was there.
His grandpa who hasn't seen him race live in
he was there last weekend.
That last weekend was the first time in a while.
He had come back, or he was still around for it.
Okay. That's good.
So that was really beautiful.
That's good.
And it's just also, what a great way to end the season on a win. You beat your nemesis.
Your main competitor, right?
Yeah.
I will say, of course, a little bit bittersweet for Hayden Deegan. This was his last race on the 250. For the outdoor season, he will be going to the 450. And, of course, a little bit of bummer that it had to end like this.
Yeah.
It was, I think, it did end in a very Hayden Deegan way where it's like, you got a little bit too aggressive. Because last year we had that during the playoffs, what he did with Joe Shimoda, right? He ended up breaking his collarbone because you're just doing too much, right? Just focus on your race, and then you can still do that overtake, right?
Yeah.
But it was just a little bit,
I don't know if it's temper gets into the way a little bit.
He's still young,
maybe it's pride or ego. But after the race, he was really cool about it. He congratulated Cole Davies. He enjoyed the dog fight, he called it.
Yeah, and I will say, right, and once again, I don't really care for him, right?
Yeah.
But it must not be easy being like this 19, 20-year-old guy, right?
Yeah.
And the whole stadium is booing you, right? And I get that you kind of created this, right? You made yourself like the heel. I believe they call this in WWE, right? It's like they have the antagonizers. And you kind of put yourself into the corner. I think also it's maybe also encouraged because it helps with marketing and stuff like that. You're obviously playing this persona, right? But I can't imagine it being easy that you're 20 and literally everyone is rooting against you, right?
Especially in the race this weekend.
Yes.
I mean, on his coast, there were plenty of his fans supporting him and cheering him on
when he won. If you're in Hayden Deegan land, sure.
Exactly. With him winning the championship at home, quote unquote.
Absolutely.
But then, I mean, there's also, of course, Cole Davies is very likable.
He is super likable.
He's quote unquote the underdog because it's only his second season.
And he's doing so good.
He's from New Zealand, so he's I wonder
if a lot of people I know in Australia, a lot of people go in the outback and they do their stuff there, right?
I'm sure it's really big. It's just, Supercross is US centric.
Exactly.
Because it's this here, and it's their own kind of creation. Because there's Motocross World Championships, and I'm sure there's local championships in Australia and New Zealand. I'm sure the Lawrence brothers have competed in all of those, maybe even won all of those. I'm not sure. But speaking of the Lawrence brothers, I think it is time for us to move on to the 450 main event. The reason, really, we tuned in live for it this weekend, because it was the big showdown between Hunter Lawrence and our boy, Ken Rockshen.
Yes. So going into this, Kenny was leading the championship by 1 point. The really important thing is a little bit more for Kenny, I think, than Hunter. Kenny had actually never won a 450 Supercross. He has won the overall championship, but he has never won Supercross, or he has won outdoor, but never the 450 specifically. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Now cut it out. It's too much.
However, Hunter Lawrence has also gotten so close to winning.
Especially if you think about how the season last year ended, right? Yes. Lost to his brother.
Yeah.
And also, he wasn't able to put on a fight because he got so fucking sick, right? Yes. And it's terrible timing.
Yeah.
And
it would have been his first 450 win too. So it's
exactly. That's what I'm saying. But he is just a little younger than Kenny,
Of course, but I think both of them really wanted it. For different reasons, of course.
For winning the championship.
Yes.
But it meant different things a little bit, right?
Yes, of course.
And I think we've talked about this, and I think I've talked about it in the What to Watch. If if it wasn't for Kenny, I wouldn't have anything against rooting for Hunter,
Oh,
right?
not at all.
If this was maybe Hunter against Chase, I know you're Chase girly, right?
But I would have not had anything about Hunter against Hunter Lawrence either. I mean, I like him.
Hunter against Hunter Lawrence, he's in his battle of his own.
No, I misspoke. But like, I even if he would have gone against Chase Sexton, I think. Well, I don't know. I can't even tell for sure. But I mean,
the reason I would have been okay because I know Chase already won one.
Fair,
right?
Yes.
I think
I agree with
the
that,
reason why I didn't say Eli is because with Eli, it is this thing. It's like, well, someone who like this veteran.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that, you know.
Yes.
But
and he's also a good guy. Like just like Hunter, he seems like such a great guy. And I mean, it does put weight into who I favor. Like if they're
your personality, dude.
If I like them, if I feel like I have a connection with them,
Absolutely.
obviously there's gonna be a little bit more heart connection
of course.
to it. But
I mean, most people do, right?
Yes, of course. I mean, we're not. That's very very slight detour quickly. That's what we were talking about off the pod. Also, like I think commentating would be so interesting and it would be a lot of fun. But I would be just way too partial. The
commentating was really annoying. Because in the first race they were riding Hayden Deegan's friendship train so hard, dude. Yes. And then he did these two mistakes, and then they were like, well, yeah. And
then suddenly, like their tail was tucked under, and they were like all aboard the Cole Davies train, and something very similar happened in the 450.
So Hunter Lawrence gets the whole shot, but Kenny is able to then take the lead, right? And then Kenny is leading, but he's not really able to do his race where he wants to just ride away.
Yeah.
Because Hunter is really strong in the second half of the race. That is his, like, I think maybe it's also an age thing, right? Younger guy, right? I don't know, but that's his specialty, right? He's like, I'm going to stick with him, and then once we're at the halfway mark, I'm going to go for it. And then this whole time leading up until the incident, right? You have the commentators essentially just being like, yeah, Hunter is so much better.
Yeah, Hunter's going to take this.
He's so cute. No, it's just like, they were like, and then this is how I would do it. And then I would do it this way. And I was like, bro, not once have you guys said one single nice thing about Kenny.
Yes.
Not once.
It's so true. But then.
That really pissed me off.
Yes.
James,
Ricky,
your brother.
Yes.
Okay, but you.
But then what started happening is that suddenly Jorge Prado, who was in third place at that moment, slowly made his way forward and was getting closer to Hunter. And we were both watching the race and we're like, oh, this is good. Because if Prado challenges Hunter a little bit, keeps him busy, it will give Kenny some time to create a little bit more of a gap. And hopefully that will protect him from the late Hunter launch.
Yes.
That's what we were hoping for.
Because we had yelled at the TV and was like, Jorge, do something. Because he was like 2 seconds behind him. Was like, Jorge, you need to get busy with it, you know?
I know, seriously. We were hoping for Jorge to intervene. However, we didn't hope for what ended up happening.
So before that happened, so you could see that Hunter was getting closer to Kenny, and Kenny was having a few little, mistakes, nothing crazy, but something that will cost you a 10th or 2/10 here and there.
And it hurts. Yeah.
It hurts, right? But then, unfortunately, Hunter, I don't know if it was the nerves, it was not paying attention for a second, but he fell. And then he fell again. He fell twice. And both of us, I was standing. I can't remember what you were doing. We're just yelling, not like this, right? We didn't want Hunter to fall and Kenny to win because of that. We wanted him to ride it out. And I will be honest, I think if it would have stayed like this, I think it would have been a really hard fight for Kenny.
I agree. We don't know what the outcome would have been. There's no way of us knowing.
Yeah.
It would have been so much harder to watch.
Yes.
But it was
because I was nervous going into it. I was so
nervous. And then also when Hunter was getting closer, it was still 19 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was still 19
and it was
minutes. It's like time started adding. It felt like, but it just felt like there's so much time in that race. I was like, what is going on?
The time's not ticking down.
Ticking by. And then, of course, the two incidences happened with Hunter Lawrence, and it just broke my heart for him. Like, I wanted them to have a battle. Yes. I wanted them to take it to the finish line. I didn't want Hunter to crumble by mistakes, and those were It was not anybody else's fault.
No, it's not like Jorge was overtly aggressive and threw the bike into his...
He was not close enough to really cause any...
I think he was just there. Yes. And I think knowing that now I have to think defensively as well as offensively. I think, and then of course with what is on the line and like you're not trying to overdo the race, and it's just so unfortunate because it's not what we wanted for Hunter. Not at all.
No, not at all. And he was also very gracious at the end, of course. He was being very polite and congratulating Kenny. I mean, he's a well-raced gentleman.
He's a super cool dude.
He's also an excellent sportsman.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he knows that it was his fault.
Yeah.
Like there was no lapped rider in the way. There was no battling that got into the way. It was like
it was
like
just
once
himself.
He got too far into too hot into the corner, and then the other time he went off track again. So it was just two very unfortunate, silly mistakes. And I know he will learn from them and he will do better. And I hope he will have another chance for a championship, maybe in the outdoors this time.
I think, 100%, especially if he's able to stay healthy.
Yes.
There's a good chance that he's able to, continue this fight and maybe take the overall. Do I want Kenny to still win it? Yes, of course.
Obviously. However, Kenny didn't end up on the podium.
No, Kenny didn't end up on the podium. We had Chase, who's really strong in Salt Lake City. I think he's won it now
back to back,
3 years, third year in a row, something like this, right? He ended up all of a sudden racing to the front.
Yes.
He ended up coming, and then there was Justin Cooper, Jorge Prado, and even Cooper Webb.
Yeah.
But it was also the things that Kenny was like, I'm not going to fight anyone. He didn't put up a fight. All he needed to do was finish ahead of Hunter.
Yeah.
I think if this would have been a mid-season race, he would have ended on a podium. He would have not just conceded these positions.
But it was just, let's be safe.
Yeah, there's no point.
No point at all.
Imagine falling, at the end of this and then throwing away maybe one of the last chances that you have to win the 450, right? Because Kenny is, what is he? He's 32, 33, right? And I know that a lot of athletes now have extended lifetime on their careers, right? And we see that in a lot of sports. But you're still, especially in a dangerous sport like moto or supercross, right?
Throughout the 3 seasons now that we've watched,
he got injured.
Supercross, he's got injured. Most people have gotten injured. It's such a dangerous sport.
Yeah, Jet, right?
Yeah.
Jet has been out for how long now?
It's crazy.
God, is he coming back for outdoor?
I think so. I don't know for sure when he's coming back. But what we haven't officially really said and celebrated is that Ken Roczen is the official 2026 SMX champion.
Oh, I get goosebumps just thinking about it again. Oh my goodness.
Category.
I have goosebumps.
I was crying my eyes out
yesterday. It was very difficult not to cry.
It was so emotional because he was so emotional.
Because it meant so much.
It's something he's worked for a long time, and he also knows that there is a timeline to his career. He's not going to be riding for
another 10 years. There's no way.
Exactly. There's no way. So for him to have this opportunity, to have this, also because he's had some really great moments and consecutive races throughout the seasons that we've watched, but then he always got injured or there was something with the bike.
What is it? Last year he got chucked off the bike and he ended up breaking his leg, right?
It was like, so now for him to have such an excellent season, to have multiple wins, obviously, under his belt, and then to take the overall championship by 3 points.
That is...
it's still nothing to laugh at. Nothing to laugh at in regards to Hunter. It's such a close championship.
Absolutely.
And these points will be taken to outdoors now. So it's not over by any means.
No.
There's still other parts of the championship to fight for.
Absolutely.
For Hunter, and he's very much in contention for it, as well as Cooper Webb. I feel like he's definitely in contention for it.
I think because there's like a billion rounds, anyone is still really in contention for it, right?
True.
Because while this will continue on to the playoffs, the outdoor has their own championship.
Yes.
So I am so excited. It was also seeing Kenny's family. His mom was there. The kids ended up being there. His wife was crying. He was crying all the time.
Yeah.
It was very difficult. It was so emotional.
Yes.
And the crowd was cheering for him because Kenny is incredibly popular.
Yes.
I don't know if there was ever a phase where he wasn't, I don't know. You know how some, rider
I know what you mean, but I I don't know. I can't imagine.
Probably not because he's the best.
Yeah, and it was also, there was like a decent amount of German fans also there.
Yeah.
Even the commentators were commenting on it. I mean, if it would have been here, I would have loved to be there. And also the Salt Lake City, the stadium, when they have the wide shot and you see just the beautiful mountain range around it, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember it, once I saw it, I was like, oh, I remember this now from last year. It's just such a beautiful view. But our boy won.
Yes.
It's so incredible.
It is so.
I mean, we've been rooting for him all season. We've been rooting for him every year. This season seemed the most realistic, but I was still nervous. I mean, all 20 plus minutes yesterday, we were just on our.
I mean,
on
once
the edge.
Hunter fell the second time, I wasn't on edge anymore. I
Not
was
as
just
much,
like
yeah.
stay on the goddamn bike,
Yes.
right? But I was super nervous going into it, right?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how they were feeling,
Yes.
right? So it was, I mean, it is also really cool. We've really started watching at a really awesome time.
Yeah.
We had a lot of different champions and
Yes.
it's super competitive overall.
Yes.
The last thing I want to bring up Supercross before we move on to what you've watched is that there was big news this week about a team that will
yes.
no longer be existing this upcoming year, which is, how do you pronounce it? Husqvarna?
Yeah, I think so.
Husqvarna?
Husqvarna. Yeah, they're not going to be around as a factory team anymore. They're going to be supplying engines and suspensions to other independent teams potentially, but they're not going to be existing as a team as such, which of course hurts several of the drivers on the grid. We will see who will find a home where. I also wonder, is there going to be a new team then, or if we're just going to miss, or are other teams going to bring more riders? I'm not sure. I haven't read up on it much. So if you guys who have more knowledge about Supercross, if you want to chime in the comments and let us know.
The only thing I had read was an interview with Malcolm Stewart because I was curious to see what he had to say about it. And he said that he essentially found out at the same time as everyone else did. I think right before the public release came out, they gave him a call and they were like, yeah, the team is no more, which is really, really unfortunate because I was thinking it's like, because a decision like this doesn't come overnight, right? This is something that's longer in the planning. And I get you don't want to steer like, how do you say it? Unruhe?
Well, you don't want to stir the pot, or you want to create rumors, or like the more people know about it, the higher risk is that it leaks. And
that, yes, but it is this thing. It's like there's so many people that are obviously not only the riders, but people who are losing their jobs.
I mean, they're engineers, they're mechanics, their whole team that's with them.
A lot of people are losing their jobs, and it's just like if he found out, right?
Yeah.
Right before the public release came out, it's like it would have been just nicer. I know that you have until the end of the season, and the season is still long, right?
Yeah.
But it would have been just easier maybe to start contract negotiations, to start applications, and start putting out your feelers, because he had a 2-year contract that is gone now, right? So he was not even thinking about looking somewhere else, and it's a little bit unfortunate. And it's just like it is sometimes like people who are like on the grid and who are working around it, like they're just treated a little bit like livestock, and it's like there's very little, it seems, concern.
I mean, I think that's generally, though, unfortunately, with sports. Like athletes, like we hear it from basketball, like people being traded all of a sudden and they had no clue, you know?
I mean, because there's always this debate was like, well, you got this $100 million contract, right? And then people get mad.
You're uprooting people's lives.
No, but my argument is people get mad at athletes for then, like, quote unquote, chasing the money, right? But in the end, it's like there's no certainty that you can be loyal to a franchise, but the franchise might not. I mean, I think the person we're thinking about is Luka Doncic.
Well, obviously, I mean, there's multiple
so many
examples,
right?
And obviously there's a lot more money involved in the NBA versus a Malcolm Stewart would be getting. So for him, it has much higher repercussions, you know, because he's not being traded. He's losing his team, or his seat essentially. So we'll see what happens with them. I mean, it's definitely sad. I mean,
he's 7th overall in the championship, so he is definitely someone who should be on the grid. He has won, I think, the 250 East. He has won it.
Last year he had this legendary win at home in Florida, which was such a.
And his brother was commentating.
Yes. I know, we're watching you, James.
James, son of a bitch.
But I mean, I guess we'll keep following the news. Like we said, if you guys have any more information, chime in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
I haven't done too much research on it my own. I just saw the headline and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking for all the people who are losing their jobs. I hope that they're able to find new jobs pretty quickly. We are off now. Unbelievably, the Supercross people, they're getting a few weeks off. Yes. We're going to be back at the end of the month. Not very long, okay, guys?
I know, but it's long for them.
It's long for them. They're getting 2 weeks off, or 3 weeks, I think. Yes. And then we'll be back with the outdoor season. So that is... but what a phenomenal end to the season.
Yes.
Of course, we are incredibly happy for Kenny and his family. Congratulations from the RacePlazaMedia family.
From us to you. Von uns für dich, Kenny.
Von uns. Du geile Sau.
Ja, du geile Sau.
And now we're going to move on to something racing also continuously in the dirt.
Yes. I mean, okay.